actually going live. I see it here.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you.
I am not seeing anybody on us yet. Let me see if I am actually live. Is anybody there? So everyone can see and hear me, but I am not seeing who is on. And it's now a minute after, and I'm sure there are persons who would have joined the live already, but I'm not seeing the usual count. All right, so I gather that my friends are seeing me and you are hearing me, but so far I am not seeing nor am I hearing you. I hear that if I go to my Facebook page, I might be able to see who is on. All right, we were trying something new today. Actually, the management of today's session has been taken away from me. It has been done remotely. So somebody is supposed to make sure that I'm seeing and monitoring the comments. So the page should be public. So there's going to be a little check now to see if my real page is private and why it is that I can't see nor hear, but I hear a couple of familiar names already are on. And I'm so happy that you've joined us. We're on to the live 3 minutes. Yeah, we're always trying something new and different. And that's the nature of technology. That's my own nature. I hate to have the same thing over and over again. I want to ensure that there is interest. I want to make sure that we do the variation. Okay, the instructions are coming in. 1 second. All right, so I'm seeing the count. I see Lorna. Good, Lorna. I see Garth Gibson. Good. Andrea Powell. I see Sonia. Percival Griffiths, always here. Mark Bell, we are hearing you loud and clear. Dallas Campbell. Comrade Dallas Campbell. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Dolly. Happy birthday to you. Wicked. Happy birthday, Dallas. Listen, if anybody tell me today that I can't sing, you see, I'm going to disrespect you. Happy birthday, Dallas. You are a sweetheart. You are my sister. You're my comrade. You're my friend. You have really been a tremendous person and influence in my life. Happy birthday, Dallas Campbell, our comrade for life. Shana, good evening to you. Sharon Smith, Tasha McDonald, Tanisha Williams, Tashna Pattison, TP, same initials as my daughter. Gwyneth Barrett from the great constituency of East Kingston and Port Royal. Springfield Division, Steve Smith from the Norman Gardens Division. Comrade Steve Smith, connection boss, you refer to me as. Good, good, good. All right. So I am now comfortable. I see my peeps, and we are ready to share today. Today is a wonderful day. It has been a good week for me personally. And many of you have heard about Traffic Guru and scandal, big scandal. Today, I went back and looked over the parliamentary speeches, and there were two sessions that dealt with initially the Traffic Guru so-called scandal. And I am pleased that I can say that so-called scandal breathes no more. It is dead. And it really should have been dead from the day that Bruce Golding raised it, because there was nothing to it. Every political party gets donation. Every political party. We have not been as fortunate as a JLP, because every elections, they raise a lot more money than we do. Sometimes they out fundraise us by 2, sometimes 3 to 1. And you ever wonder how they raise the money? You ever wonder how political parties raise the money? Because there are people who give money. Some give a whole heap, some give a little. But most of them give and they don't want to be exposed. They figure that if them give money to JLP, PNP going to resent them and they will get victimized. And if them give money to PNP, JLP going to resent them and they'll be victimized, because people know that governments change from time to time. And as bad as it seems now, trust me, PNP will be back in power in the future. But people were, and I say were because I changed the law, and I'm going to tell you how I changed the law. But in those days, people didn't want to write checks to the People's National Party or to Jamaica Labour Party. They wanted to do it in a secretive way. That was the reality. And anybody like Mr. Golding, who raised this matter, would say otherwise. They are big hypocrites, because that's how it has been. What I know used to happen, a man say, I want to give you money, I want to give you $100,000. You have to write an invoice for it, and they send it to an account that doesn't call itself PNP. Because when you write PNP on a check, it goes through the system and it comes back to you. And in that process, the world will know. Plain and simple. That's how it has been. So Mr. Golding went in Parliament. He found out that in breach of the banking law, I mean, it was a criminal act for the bank to furnish Mr. Golding information about an account where a donation was lodged, And then from that account, it was sent to the People's National Party. He got that information from the bank illegally and decided to break it as a scandal. Eureka! We found the PNP. And in fact, the way he broke it, he made it sound as if money that was intended for the people of Jamaica, money that was intended to go in the consolidated fund, somehow found its way into the People's National Party, which was for him as the leader of the opposition really was beneath him. But you know, God don't like ugly, and karma is a bitch. So we know what happened to Mr. Golding in 2009, 2010 with Tivoli. So that's how the scandal started. People give us a donation, had no connection with the business that they were doing in Jamaica, and I'll explain why in a minute. But Mr. Golding went, and that was the birth of Trafigura. And that name has become associated in a negative way for a very long time. Respect Melbaton, respect Abigail, respect Sonia. I can't stop calling people names because some people don't really like when I call out them name on the program. So that's what happened. Because the money was lodged into an account that Colin Campbell had managed, Colin went and admitted, and he was forced to resign. And that hurt me to this day, because Colin did not do anything wrong apart from accepting a donation from somebody who he didn't have a relationship with. And it was an act of injustice. It mashed up Colin Campbell's reputation and his career, because he had to admit that the funds came to him, and then he had to do documentation to protect the interests and the consciences of the donor. And because of that, he took it, the government was under pressure, and he resigned not only as minister, but as general secretary of the party, the People's National Party, and indeed Jamaica, owe Colin Campbell an apology. Colin has been a good comrade, and he did not deserve that. But let me go a little further, and I only have 5 minutes because we have an interesting guest waiting. So Colin had to resign, and we hear that this thing is a massive scandal. Contractor General investigated, couldn't find no link between oil lifting and the money, but it persisted. You know what Mr. Golding did? You know what Mr. Golding did? He formed the government in 2007, 1 year after Trafigura happened. You know. Mr. Golding went to Parliament. There is a law called the Mutual Assistance Law, where countries assist each other when they are pursuing investigation of a criminal nature to share information. In 2006, when Trafigura happened, the Netherlands, the Dutch, they were not a part of this law, this arrangement. So when Trafigura, the so-called scandal, happened, the Netherlands couldn't come to Jamaica and get an investigation done and get information, because the mutual assistance law did not apply. But when Mr. Golding became government in 2007, 1 year after this incident, he changed the law and made it retroactive to enable the Netherlands, the Dutch, to launch an investigation in Jamaica to question people. Before that, it couldn't happen. So that was the first act that he did that was disgraceful. And for me as a Jamaican, a person who is protected under the Constitution, it was something that should not stand. And so we took exception to that. That was the first thing he did. But he went on to make these allegations that, first of all, there was a meeting in New York between Sister P, myself, Colin, and Trafigura. We went to New York with Sister P. Remember, Sister P was recently made president of the party and prime minister. We went to celebrate Jamaica's independence in August in New York, and we were at various meetings and functions. We did not have any meeting with Trafigura, none at all. Mr. Golding just made it up. Just made it up. So that was a massive lie. And there was somebody who referred to Mr. Golding sometime after as mendacious. You know what mendacious means? And it was pathological, mendacious. That was the first act of mendaciousness. I suspect there's a better adjective. But he not only said that, but he later went on to say that Trafigura people came to Jamaica, which they did, and they were involved in negotiating the oil deal. And out of that came this money, which went in the Consult Fund and which was surreptitiously passed to the People's National Party. The people came to Jamaica largely because, and many of you don't remember now, when Sister P won the elections and became president and prime minister, her approval rating was 75%. 75%. Not even Michael Manley had achieved that stardom. People wanted to see her. Shortly after that, she was rated in the top 100 most powerful women in the world, in that same category with Hillary Clinton and others. So this gentleman, Mr. Dorfin, these rich people, they're aware, because me wouldn't really take up my money to fly to a country just because I want to meet their prime minister. But this is how these people are. He had a daughter. She said, boy, she wants an autograph of the new prime minister. Mr. Dorfin himself wanted a photograph with her. Sister P was busy the day, cabinet day. In fact, after cabinet, she had to fly to Montego Bay, then come back in for the meeting. A brief courtesy call. The guys were so happy, Mr. Dorfin, even though it only lasted about 7 minutes because we had the executive in the night. A brief courtesy call where there were just pleasantries. Sister P hugged him and kissed him about 3 times, and it made his day. In fact, I've never seen somebody as happy to get a photograph, to get a few kisses, the autograph, and in fact, Sister P gave him a gift, some Blue Mountain coffee. And that was the so-called meeting that dealt with oil contract and money that should go in the Consult Fund passing to the People's National Party. How outrageous. So yes, we did fight it in court because we believe that it was wrong the way it started by a retroactive application of the law. We believe it was wrong the way they were trying to put this thing in the public sphere as if there was a crime committed in Jamaica by Jamaicans, when from day one it was quite clear. The Dutch were investigating it, inspired by Golding, facilitated by Golding, because their laws don't allow this type of contributions. Our laws at the time allowed it. We fought it until the court said, well, you all have to go and do it in open court. And this week, we set the record straight. I have never seen investigators from a foreign country looking so dejected, because they thought they would have been able to come here and get some aha moment. But we're not going to lie. We went and spoke the truth. I explained, for example, that the oil lifting arrangement with Nigeria wasn't so important for me as minister. to even want to have meetings with these people. For 6 years, the government only earned about 2.4 million US. So it was not important to me, and I don't get involved in those nitty-gritty negotiations. That's done by PCJ and so on. But you know the hurtful thing? That gentleman, Mr. Dolphin, the president, CEO, chairman of Trafigura, that man died long ago, over 6 years ago, I think about 7 years now. He died from cancer. So he's the one who arranged and gave the money. The man dead, but for 16 years, we have been pursued in this fashion. We'll say more about it, but it's not fair to my guests that I hug the show. But this is Trafigura. This was what it was all about. But we're going to talk more about it. I don't want to keep my guests waiting. In fact, I also wanted to say a word or two about the budget and Julian's very excellent performance yesterday, but we'll do that some other time. Because today we are going to have a special guest, and I'm waiting. Yes, Sonia, yes, the broadcast should be recorded and played in town centers all over. All right, I agree with you. Yes, Claudette, that's what Bruce tried to do. Yes, Howard, it is good that the Trafigura thing is now settled. Yes, yes, it is good, but you know, it's not easy, and I tell you, Colin bore the brunt of this. All right, I am waiting for our guests to appear. So let me see now. Aha! We have Dane. Dane, can you hear me?
Yes, MP, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, man, loud and clear. So forgive me, we were talking about an unpleasant matter. And I thought because it's so current, I would use the opportunity to talk a little bit about that. But we talk about Mr. Simpson Miller being a star attraction. But today, Dane Warren is the star of this live. And Dane, I'm so happy that you have been able to join me in this way. And I'm happy because I met you, even though I think we would have known each other before and probably even met before, but properly when I was campaigning to become vice president of the People's National Party in 2018. But I'm sure we'd have met before. But you were in Southwest St. Catherine, which had a whole heap of delegates. Southwest St. Catherine is a constituency that we haven't won in a long time. But that constituency was delegates rich. Remember that?
Yes, I remember, MP. I remember. Yes.
So I was so impressed though with you because I realized that you were from the YO, you had served in the YO, and you were a good organizer. And so when I asked you to round up some delegates for me, you went out there and you did it diligently. And I've known you since then, but I didn't know you. If you understand what I mean. I admired you because I saw that you were a part of the school challenge quiz and also teacher for, what's the school name again?
Old Harbour High School.
Old Harbour High School. And I was wondering, how come Old Harbour High School was doing so well? Because, you know, we know about the Woolmers, the JCs, the Campion, and recently, Excelsior is back in the team because we didn't have a sixth form, we were out, but Excelsior is back. But we know about those schools. But so when I saw that you were associated with this school, I said, but wait, let me stop a little. And then we start to talk more. and you expressed concerns about your party and about the country. And then I saw this tremendous ambition. But today, me not talk much. We want to hear your story. So welcome, Comrade Dane Warren. And we want to start with where were you born and what is the situation and circumstance of your birth? Tell us about that first.
All right. But I mean, yes, I think you did a little introduction, and I'm glad for that. So I don't think I need to do an introduction now. But it would be good if I could introduce myself so that I could
Yes.
give
Please.
a little understanding of where I'm at now.
Yes.
So I'm currently a medical student at Texas American University at the Guyana campus, right? And I'm also a teaching assistant at University of the West Indies.
By the way, pause 1 second. Can I just invite everybody to share this live? We want to share it because people must hear this story. Please share the live. Continue, Dane.
Yes. So currently I work full-time at University of the West Indies and attend medical school in Guyana, full-time also. And I do teaching on the side. But we'll get there because I'm going to take it, as you say, from birth. So I was born in Manchester, Mandeville Hospital, based on the records.
Yeah.
And I lost my, well, I grew up with my mom mainly. I lost my dad at about age 3 or 4 thereabout. I can't really, I'm not really sure, but at the time I don't have any memory of him. But it was, for me, a very bad experience not being able to know anything about him, because everything that I heard was just what people told me. So I didn't have any way to verify all of this, right? So I learned that he died. As a matter of fact, I learned so many stories up until last year. Last year was when I heard from somebody closer to him that they were traveling in a taxi to Manchester when they heard somebody recalling the incident that took place in, I think it's in a Royal Flat, somewhere there in Manchester.
Yeah.
Right? Where he was shot and killed by police officers while carrying out a robbery, himself and some others. You know, I mean, I felt very embarrassed to hear that, but then, you know, I was like, you know, it's just part of who I am. It's part of the history.
So your father actually died when you were about 3 or 4, and he died while attempting a robbery.
Yeah, he died while attempting a robbery. But before that, I just heard a lot of different stories, and I just couldn't tell what it was. And one of the things that got me very aggressive when I was young, growing up, was the fact that people would say, people who heard the story or people who knew of him, they would say that I'm going to be just like him. They told me that I'm going to die just like him very early. And I almost believed, you know, at one point I was like, yeah, you know, these people are right. I believe them. And it's one of the most hurtful things you could say to me while growing up as a youngster, that I'm going to die just like my dad. So I moved from Manchester though, and I came to Old Harbour at about age 5. I finished St. Jago Basic School in Manchester, and I came to live in Old Harbour at the time.
Yes.
I was about 5 or 6. I was in grade 1 now. I started grade 1, right? It was very challenging for me. You know, I'm from way in the rural area. Most of these things I'm not used to. But I came and I started attending primary school in Old Harbour. So it was tough. I mean, I had problem in school learning how to read and write. Couldn't read and write properly. Grade 2, tried again. It was still an issue. You know, I still couldn't write properly. You know, I remember my teacher, she was trying with me very hard. Grade 1 to 2, still couldn't manage. And grade 3, very difficult, still not able to read and write, you know, properly.
Yes.
It was about grade 3 that my teacher, you know, she did a lot of work, and I started improve. By grade 4 was a little bit tough, but I had a little improvement, but still poor. You know,
Yes.
they're not at this rate. This I might not do so well going up. By grade 4, I mean, I remember grade 4 was very difficult for me, and you know, it was grade 5. I got a little bit better. Grade
But
6,
before you go there, Dane, because you did speak about your father,
yeah.
and you know, God rest his soul. But what about your mother? Talk a
Yeah,
little
at the
bit
time,
about her.
at the time, my mom was a cashier.
Yes.
Yeah, I think she was a cashier at the time at S-Mart supermarket. You remember Comrade Mears?
Yes.
Yeah, my mother was working for Comrade Mears. So Comrade Mears was like a
Who died?
godfather to me.
Who
He
died
was
of
one, yeah, he was like a godfather to me in terms of, you know, helping out, and Mrs. Mears. So she used to work there at the supermarket. And for me, the part of that I probably wouldn't go into today was in high school. I remember that it was difficult, not just because of academic, but because, you know, I'm one of those persons who went through, I wonder if I should call it child abuse, but my punishments were very severe. And at the time, I wasn't really a rude child, but it was very severe at the time. You
from your
know,
mother?
no, not from my mother. It was from, at the time, my stepfather. It was very severe. It was very, as I say, it was very tough, very traumatic. As a matter of fact, it's something I've never spoken about, never ever spoken about. You know, very, very traumatic. And that's not really what makes it traumatic, though, MP. What
Yeah.
makes it traumatic is something I'll speak about later. About the day I went to the hospital when I had a little incident with my ears,
Right.
and then the hospital told me that I have been there before, and I'm saying no, but I'll share that part with you when I reach there. So yes,
Yeah.
I continued, and I reached grade 6. You know, it wasn't bad. Grade 6, I started to turn around. I started to do some work at the final, realizing that I was at the final lap. You
Right.
know, but at that time things got bad. You know, I did my GSAT exams, and I passed for Old Harbour High School. Things got very bad because my mom kind of disappeared out of the picture. I wasn't seeing her for a long while.
Right.
I was staying with an old lady at the time in the community.
Right.
Um, at the time, the community is one that is kind of open. You know, you go everybody yard and you do everything. So it's up to you to choose because there's no mother, just the neighbors who used to cook food. So I used to go literally everybody out. So the bad, well, maybe not the people who used to have money, but the people who used to give a lot of trouble in the community. I was there with them. You know, I was saying what was my purpose at the time. But at that point, things weren't so bad in terms of violence. But I had an issue in terms of grades, primary school, because
Yes.
at the time I used to go to the market. So I used to go to the market and sell in the market. I used to sell like bag juice, tissue, peas, all sort of stuff, just to try and get some money at the time. But one time I decided to stop, you know, and I said, no, I can't do this, you know, because it's very embarrassing and so forth. And I remember I had to run away from home because my stepfather decided that, look, you have to go out there and sell. And
Wow.
by the time he told me to get ready and shower, I had to run through the window, and you know, I ran away for about a day. You know, they found me and I came back. I never did anything after that. About grade 7 now, as I told you, I didn't know where my mom was at this time, you know, because she was out of the picture for a little while. Just
Right.
some calls and so forth. So I was saying that, you know, this is really hard for me. So what am I going to do? That's when I started looking for friends and companions. And I say, you know what, I'm going to power these youths. You know. At the time, these were the youths, the young persons who were doing wrongs. And
Right.
I wanted a sense of belonging. So I joined them. And I believe that one point that is where I belong, because I was a slow student. And when I say slow, I considered myself very slow at the time, because even though I was at Old Harbour High School, as you say, you never know Old Harbour High School to be a big school like that. At the time, I was in grade 7, and I was in the school. Let me see if I can do some checks now. The school started at right? Old Harbour High, right?
Right.
OLPHARBOUR.
I said the classes.
Yes, the classes.
Yeah.
But at the time, they had 2 classes that was a little bit above the rest. They call them 7S1 and 7S2.
Right.
Now, when you check my class, ranking in order, my class was U, 7U.
That was it. That would have been the so-called Dunces class.
Yeah, and after that, you have a couple students, meaning that maybe like 10 or 20 students who were problematic, really problematic, and they're in R. They were a little bit slower than I was at the time.
Yes.
And why I believe that I belong to that group in terms of violence is I did the first semester,
Yes.
and I came out of 43, I think I came 34. So I was at the bottom of the class. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And at the bottom of the school and at the bottom of the class, I was like, I'm really going to be like my dad. And then I started wanting to be, I was in grade 7, and as I said, my mom wasn't there. I didn't have any family, because remember, I come from country, so I didn't have any family like that. Yeah. So I was scared, because I was in school, and the bigger boys used to take my lunch money in grade 7. And I wanted to kind of rebel. So I said that I'm going to try join a gang, So and them I said, boy, you have to pay dues. So I used to pay them money like from time to time to say, boy, all right, give some protection. Because the students, as I said, they're not like the students now. Students, bigger boys who used to repeat a lot and used to take
beat you.
Yeah, beat literally. I remember. And then I started following the bigger boys now, at a group of us now. I used to follow them. Yeah. And I was trying to learn from them. So one day I can become a Dan, and I can protect myself, and I'm not worried about what will happen. Yeah. And I remember going to Uomstead. I don't know if you know that community, Uomstead in Spanish Town.
Bad community, that one.
Well, yeah, man. I said,
so-called bad, yes.
Yeah, at the time. And I say, all right. We're going to go down there for a boy, because him take away one of our friends' stuff, and we are the boy them went away. As me said, grade 7 MP, so me are the little man, but me just want to be a part of the big boy them. So me go down there, look for man in a man, and like somebody who know me well and say, boy, and a bigger boy, I say, what you do here, so? Yes, I didn't know where the community name. I just go on a taxi, jump on a taxi with them and go. And when I got there, they say, my friend Sam, I said, no, man, leave. I left and came back, and I started looking into myself and said, what's happening? But I still followed, I used to carry like knife. I remember one day, some police officers from the station came, because things was getting really bad. They heard that students had guns, knife, everything. And I had a knife at the time. I remember I had a little one-strap bag and a little knife that I carried. It was inside under my khaki shirt, with the wooden part I kind of sawed off. I remember purchasing that knife for I think it was about $250 or $500 at the time, and I carried that knife most days. And when I remember one day when the police officers came, they took us up and started carrying us up to the station and so forth. And when normally, MP, when police officers take you up, they normally search you, right?
Yes.
They just never search for that day. And by the time they brought us up to the station, they put us in the back, and I was able to quickly remove the knife and put it into the back of the police vehicle. So the back of the car, the van seat, I looked into it, and all these things I was escaping, and I was saying, oh boy. But at the time, I was saying, boy, maybe I don't belong here, but each time.
But those days, you weren't exposed to guns, though.
That we reached a point where the point where I was trying to turn back was when persons, three different persons, when I was selling at the market, and there was this guy, he came to me one night and said to me, you know, you're going to need protection. I'm saying, he said, yeah, man, because, you know, the streets are run a certain way. And him tell me him name, and him said to me, say, you know, this is a gun, and I say, I don't know if you ever see them thing here before, and wherever. And him tell me the name, but now I look at me and say, boy, him tell me the name of the gun at the time, and so forth, and like him did even quote the serial number and everything, and type or something like that. And him say, you're gonna need protection, take me number and call me. And I take him number, and me always look out for him. But you know, it's so for some reason I just feel like the Lord is just up on my side. I just couldn't find him after that.
So you never really got into the gun business then?
No, just introduction.
Yeah.
Introduction. Where at one point I know for some reason I know it was wrong, and I just kept saying no. Every time I was issued one, one came to me, I always say no. You know, I just know that one just seemed out of it for me in terms of the gun part. It was very scary because, you know, the part that really hit me was when people kept telling me that I'm going to be like my father. You know, I used to go to the station. I remember one day they brought me to the station, you know, and they said, we're going to send it to Family School. And I said to them that it doesn't matter. I would gladly go. That's how I felt at the time as a youngster. So when I look at myself now, MP, sometimes people don't understand how I felt at that time. When did
the change occur? Because I'm following the comments, and I really want to thank those persons who are commenting. And somebody said, boy, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed because yes, the background, the story is a sad one. But so I want you to tell us now, when did this change occur in your life? The positive change.
In grade 7, as I told you, I didn't do so well. I did poorly. At the time, I think I was between. At the time, they changed up the grading system. They tried a new system. This time they tried 8, 1A, 1B, 1C, and then each number had a letter. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C. But at the time, I was in 8, 4A now. So I missed 1 ABC, 2 ABC, 3 ABC, and now down to the group of 4A. Right? So I was still down at the bottom in grade 8. But at that time, I saw where the principal came in. I think it was in 2007. There's a new principal, the current principal. And he said that this thing of expelling students is going to come in and it's going to be a real thing. And I was experiencing a lot of bad stuff. So it's grade 8 now. I was still with the guys, but not so much. Yeah. And, you know, before I called, you know, I was reminding a police officer. So I have a police officer now that is my friend. Two of them. There are 2 police officers now. I remember when something went wrong with both of us, right?
Yes.
And I decided that, look, this is not going to go so, you know. This is war, and I went to the garrison. Well, I wouldn't say garrison, but I went to the community that I had a group, as a gang, and it was about 20 of us. At the time, people just start moving when I told them that what happened. And I remember when we met the guy while he was leaving school, and I said to him, "Don't touch that one there because his brother is a young constable, young police officer. This is one way I deal with." I remember when him start the fight and then beat him up, and everything did finish because it really him really wasn't a troublemaker, but him kind of offend me. Mm-hmm. So after that, everything did finish. And looking back, I said to myself, MP, that could have been worse. I could have, police could have got involved and said, boy, this, you need to go to Family School. But I said every attempt, and this one person who I won't pass him on the road. If I see him now, I stop and heal him up. And he said to me that you can change, man, and do better, And I remember even after I passed age 18, I didn't even know I was going to pass age 18 because one person was known to me as a gunman. Somebody who, well, most people know as a gunman. him tell me, say, boy, 18, my 18th birthday would be my last birthday because of some disagreement we had. You know, him show me him gun and say, boy, it's going to be your last birthday. And, you know, the other day, I was talking to a police officer, you know, and they say, you know, we killed that person. We went and saw him, had gun and everything, and we had to shoot him and you know. So grade 8 MP was the time when that would have been about 2008, 2009.
Yes.
I
grade 8 at the high school.
Yeah, at the high school, yes.
That would be second form.
Second form.
Okay.
And at that time, I was trying to change. I was looking for a way. So I did well in the second semester of grade 8. Very well in terms of where I'm coming from. And now I moved from grade 9 now. We're going grade 9, third form.
Right.
So my new class, right? So you had O, L, D, H. So I was in H now. So I remember, so I skipped A, R, B, O, and U. So I skipped all those classes and came to 9H now at the time.
You're moving up, you're doing better.
Moving up because now, after experiencing all that, a lot of counseling sessions, everything, right? Yeah. And then I said to myself, I'm going to work harder for this point. But at one point in the MP, my dream job, you know what my dream job was? My dream job was to pack bag at a supermarket. That was my dream job. I wanted to just become pack the shelf. Because I remember I went to somebody, I seen her in the community and said, well, I wonder if I can reach a stage where I can pack bag and get a little job and get $6,000 a week. And say, yeah, man, if you put in yourself, you can get a work, man, and everything when they grow older. At that time, I was in grade 7, 7 in the community asking. And I said, yeah, man, you can get a job at packing bag and packing the shelf.
So thank God you didn't end up there. But tell me something now. So let us go to 5th form, CXC.
Yeah, 5th form, before we go right there, let me share with you how. So it was my guidance counselor who saw me in grade 10. That's 4th form, before 5th form. Right. 4th form, and I went with the quiz team. So let me tell you, this is a very interesting story now. People
quiz team? You mean?
Yeah, I went with the quiz team. Yes, in grade 9, the grade 10 they're about. I went with them to carry the books and the water. So when I was going to the studio, yes, I wasn't going as a quiz person. I don't know anything about quiz. Me's a man who consider myself slow learner, so I know the on school chance quiz. Anyways, I reached the match and they lose. They lost the first match. They went and played and we lost. You know, when everybody was crying, we came back home. You know what the coach said to me that when I was there? It's your time now, no? And I said to myself, wonder if this man know that me just come to carry the book them. Me not come to do no quiz. Me don't know nothing about no quiz. Me not have them intelligence there. And by the time him said that, him start giving me books and so forth. And I said, books to come on quiz team? Me? You know, and my mom said to me, no, man, that is, when I told her that they invited me, she said, no, that is for the big guys. That's not for you. And thing. Yeah. And I started going to the quiz and they started teaching me. I started to read more, you know. Yeah. I remember my green company, and if anybody knew me that time, they remember my little green book. I started studying. And by that time, MP, I was in grade 10, and I made the school science quiz team as one of the youngest members ever to be on the team.
You made the team?
Yes, in grade 10. The same man who was at
this is the school challenge quiz that we used to know as JBC school challenge quiz, now TPJ. Yes. And you made the team?
I was telling that MP, I was talking to a teacher today. I went to school and I was reminding her. I made the quiz team in grade 10, coming from the lowest stream. When I made the quiz team in MP, people were all over the school commenting and saying, this is madness. This team not going, this is madness. How did this guy slip onto the team? How did he slip through? One person who was in the bread class at the time came to me and said to me, if you can make the quiz team, we're coming to make the quiz team too. because something must be wrong. So at that time, MP, I'm no longer in 9H. So I skip OLD and I'm now in 10S1 at the time. We had 10S1. 10S1 is like the top students now with the science students. And
Yeah.
there are different categories who wanted to become doctor and everything. As a matter of fact, on my grade 10 paper, MP, I didn't write that I want to become a doctor. I wrote that I want to become a soldier because at the time I joined cadet. So I still never know anything about becoming doctor. No, I wasn't thinking about doctor, university. I don't know anything about those stuff at the time. So when I got to 5th form now to the CXC, people were saying that, this man can't pass on the CXC. This man not going to do anything. And I remember it was a struggle, but I had help from the quiz team at the time, right? And I was trying, because remember, I'm coming from the lowest class, so people not expecting me to pass on the CXC.
Yes.
So when I told them that I wanted to do 9 CXC, people saying, what? But thankfully for Old Harbour High School, is a little different from your school and other schools, like the KC and other school and the Campion. It's not a one set of teachers. We have the morning shift and the junior shift and the senior shift, right? Yeah. So the junior shift teacher were the teacher that I used to give trouble. They're the ones who know me as a bad student. So the senior shift, they don't know me. They just know that this guy is in 10S1 and he's doing well. So only the students would be telling teachers, you don't know this boy used to give a whole heap of trouble. A lot of trouble. Go principal office, get demerit, all these stuff. And by that time now, being on the quiz team and trying to do CXC now, I was worried, very worried, because I was saying, all right, if I get 5 out of the 9, I'm doing well. At one point I said, no, I can manage this 9. I go and do it. When I did CXC MP, as a matter of fact, 40 days before CXC, I remember I tried. I couldn't do the paper, the maths paper, not one of the questions. It was very difficult. But then I used to go to the extra classes sometimes 3 times per day. Different teachers, asked them to help me with passing. I was determined because I realized what I really wanted, to be successful.
Yes.
And then when the CSEC result came out, MP, I got 9 CXC, range 1 and 2.
9 CXC.
9 CXC. Remember, the year before, 9 CXC was like one of the top. 9 CXC and 9 CXC. Yeah, was it? I think there was 9 ones though. The top boy got 9 ones. But at the time, the average pass wasn't near 9.
Yeah.
So at that time, MP, I was, how you put it now? I was a student who a lot of people was wondering, what's happening? To the point where I reminded teachers today at Old Harbour High School of a teacher by the name of Miss Morgan. She used to teach me, and she remember when I used to give a lot of trouble. I didn't have the money to go to 6th form in the MP. Is that teacher? She parked her van in the middle of the town in Old Harbour, stopped the van right in the middle of town in front of the police station and go into the ATM.
Yes.
And said, this is your 6th form fee. She's a retired teacher at the time.
Yes.
This is your 6th form fee.
Wow. But Dane, some people just join us in the conversation and they miss the part of the story where you're told that you came into this world, your father was killed while doing a robbery. Your mother, as ever, loving and kind and tried to, struggled. You're abused by others. You had a very bad experience in the formative years of your school career, where you went into a gang and you could have ended up dead. But your life turned around grade 9, 10, and you have just now passed 9 CXCs. And you're going on to, did you go on to 6th form?
Yes, I went right to 6th form at the time. So this is where I'm at, 6th form now.
And you were still in the quiz, on the quiz team.
Yeah, I was at the quiz team at the time.
Yes. How did the quiz team perform?
They went to the furthest, to the furthest that they've ever been, the semifinals.
So you were part of the team that went to the finals.
Well, when I played the first match, but by the time the upper rounds, at the time I didn't play the upper rounds until the following year. I was fully drafted because at the time, you know, it's a competition. It's 7 of us. I was the
Right.
youngest, so we had a competition, and you know,
So in the second year, which mean that you were in upper 6.
no, I was in grade 10. Remember, I started in grade 10. The second year I was in grade 11. So
Ah,
I played the longest, one of the longest. There was one person before me in 2000 who played long. So I
was it
really
3 years you played then?
4 years.
4 years.
Grade 10, grade 11, grade 12. At one point, people were asking me if I'm not going to graduate. If I was repeating, I told them, no, I just started from grade 10.
And the best performance of the team was semifinals.
Yeah, and then we had quarterfinal, which was my last year. But as I
Right.
told you now, at the time when I was in grade 10, you know, I tried to become student council PRO at the time. Because
Right.
as you know, but as I told you, at the time, nobody wanted to vote for Dane because Dane was a troublemaker. So I lost badly to a female at the time, and I lost. They rejected me as PRO for the student council body. By grade 11.
By the way, somebody was suggesting that you pick up the teacher who gave you the money. So you can
Oh,
call
Miss
her
Morgan, Miss Yvonne Morgan, yes. Miss
Morgan. I want to big up Mrs. Yvonne Morgan.
Yes.
Special shout out.
Yes.
You know, we love her, we love her, we love her. Continue,
So
continue.
by grade 11 now, MP, grade 11 now, I became deputy head boy.
What?
Deputy head boy. Yes, I think, yes, grade 11.
Yeah.
No, it was grade 10, grade 11. Grade
That's
11. I was senior prefect grade 11.
Right.
It was grade
12.
30, no, 6, grade 12. I became first deputy head boy.
Right.
And by grade 13,
Upper 6.
I was upper 6. By grade upper 6, I was student council president, sitting on the school board. At the time, I was a student.
President of the student council?
President of the student union. So
and you sat on the board of
the school. That was my first experience.
By the way, you know that is Michael Manley do that. I was
Really?
the first president of the student council at Excelsior to sit, the first ever student to sit on a school board in the 70s because of Michael Manley.
Wow.
Yes.
I didn't even know.
Tremendous. All right. So you finished sixth form now, because I want to get on now to.
Yeah, man, we're getting there.
Yeah.
We're getting there. At the time now, on the 6th, on the school board.
Yes.
There was a lawyer. There was an attorney.
Yes.
This was the next journey.
Yes.
The attorney on the school board. So who is this young man? You know, being on the school board.
Yes.
And I introduced myself to him. He was Dr. Kes Miller.
What?
And he so it was Dr. Kes Miller, former government senator. At the time, he was lawyer. So I didn't know where I was going next. And he came to me and he said to me, you could be a member of the PMP. And when he recruited me MP, that was when my life basically started to change. I started to see myself as being a big person now. Because not that I was just somebody who he recruited. He recruited me to recruit youths. And so he put me as a PMPYO chairman for the PMPYO of the entire constituency. So at that time, I was holding meetings. I was holding meetings for the entire constituency. There were young people who were a part of NCU, Michael, Huey, and I was the chairman learning. I remember when I used to Google how to do a meeting, call him. Or somebody said, what's the name of the lawyer? Dr. Kes Miller.
Ran for us as a candidate. Did he not?
No, he never, every time, well, he ran in internal elections, but he never ran as a candidate. But he was a senator in 2000, up to 2005, from 2002 to 2005.
PMP senator, yes, go on.
And so forth. So yes, he invited me to the PMP, and he would bring me around. People would say, so most people think Kes Miller is my father. Most people think that. Because he was the one who brought me to the PMP, brought me to all the young people. Alric Campbell at the time, PMPYO president, introduced me. So I got Alric number, So I learned how to do meetings. Tazu was general secretary at the time. And it was a tough journey, as I said, because now it's 6 form, it's finished. And I need to decide where to go next. This was a very difficult part because where to go next was university, but how to get there? I didn't get any scholarship. I was hoping that I would have done well at the school transcript level and that I would have gotten the chance to, one second. I would have gotten the chance to get a scholarship, right?
Yes.
And I didn't get it. So I was trying to figure out what would I do now that I didn't get the scholarship. And
You don't have no money, you're broke.
no money at the time, no guarantor, nobody at all. So I decided to go to UWI, just start. That the issue was, I just wanted to start.
But how are you going to start without money?
That's what I said, MP. I just go. That's what my mom said. She said that what you're talking is madness. We have to go to the place. And the council at the time, I went to a PMP conference at because I'm always at every PMP event.
Yes.
And when I went to the conference, the council said to me, just start and you'll finish. And that has always been my thing. Just start and you'll finish. When I started MP, I don't think I brought a textbook to UWI. I think I went to UWI with my fear only. And when I got
bus fear.
Just the bus fear. And I didn't know where to go. I was just all over the place because I had applied for medicine, but they told me that I didn't meet the requirements.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to try general science first. And when I got to Science and Tech MP, I went to the office and told them that I'm coming to go to that. Remember, I missed orientation because I didn't know anything about those stuff. I missed orientation. I missed everything. It was literally the first Monday at university. And university, nobody's there to guide you. And I went to the office and I told them. And there was this lady in the office that said to me, that? She said, which school are you coming from? And I said to her, hold up, I see it on my shirt here. And she said, yes, that's my school. I was the first head girl. And I said, really? And I said, I was a deputy head boy too, I said, nice. And I started to tell her what was happening. And she said to me, all right, I'm going to help you out, right? I'm going to give you the handbooks. I'm going to pay for the handbooks for you. I'm going to pay for the stuff for you. And she gave me the handbooks and the books that I needed. And I told her that I don't have anything. And she said, I'm going to give you some money. And she gave me a little change at the time. MP, remember I'm at school now. I'm supposed to be in class, but I don't know where to go. Because I want to do medicine, but I don't know where to go. I don't know. So I went to physics. I said, all right, maybe I can do a physics degree. Somebody said something about physics. Since I got a range 1 in physics, I got a range 1 in physics in high school. Went to physics class. They told me that I need a lab book. I said, lab book? In high school, I use writing book for lab book. I'm going to use a writing book. So no, you have to get a special lab book. I paid for the lab book with the last money that the lady gave me at the time. Yeah. When she gave me that money, I paid for the lab book, and they said to me that I'm going to have to write up the lab and submit it right after the class. So I was saying, these guys must be joking. I don't even know what's going on. I'm here half an hour late, and they say I must submit this. So when I submitted the book, MP, it was, I literally never wrote anything correct in it like I would have wanted to. So I said to myself, listen, I already failed one day at this physics thing. I'm not coming back to physics. Right?
Yes.
And that's why I never did physics. So I went to bio now. And I started bio and chemistry.
Yes.
And I tell you, MP, it was very difficult because this is where I told you now. I had to wake up in the morning like 4 o'clock so I can get a ride to UWI before the traffic. And by the time I got to UWI by 7, 8 o'clock, in the lecture I want to sleep. So I said I need to try something different. So what I started to do now was to sleep in the library. This was first semester, first year in MP. Started to sleep in the library. I remember people used to take my picture And at the time, remember, as I tell you, I was a poor boy. I don't know anything about phone and technology and WhatsApp and Facebook like that. Right? And people used to take my picture because I used to sleep in the library under the curtain. So I used to wrap up in the curtain as my sheet.
Because it's cold, the library cold.
Yeah, man, you know the AC now turn off. You can't turn off the AC, but I think it's regulated. It's kind of automated.
So why you didn't go home to sleep?
I wouldn't reach in time. And sometimes the lecturer, which was Dr. Mill at the time, who was lecturing at UWI, he never used to lecture every day. So it was like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So you have to only catch him that day.
You don't change your clothes, you just keep on.
No, man, I used to. Remember, university had the bathroom, everything. Yeah, man. So I used to go there and so forth. Okay. And then I said, all right, I'm going to find a different option. And I had a friend, when I did school challenge quiz, the team that we beat that year when we went to semifinal was Glenmuir.
Yes.
That when all I beat Glenmuir. But I stopped from I only played one match that year. I met Dr. Dixon. I don't know if you know Dr. RJ Dixon.
No.
Yeah, man, you remember Dr. Dixon, man, PMP Dixon?
Okay.
Yeah, so at the time, Dr. Dixon, who was a strong comrade, used to offer me, after I spoke to him and tell him what was happening, a place to sleep up by where he was living. So I used to take out the sponges from the seats and put them together for bed. A Chancellor Hall, I remember. A Chancellor Hall.
Chancellor, big up Chancellor.
Yeah. I was sleeping on the floor, right? I was sleeping on the floor on campus because I was trying to change things. Because at the time, MP, when I started I wanted to get the scholarship. At the time, a PMP MP offered me some assistance, but he said that I had to get a letter from the university with my GPA. My GPA at the time.
Right.
When the letter was supposed to be sealed, but the associate dean at the time had asked the secretary to prepare the letter. Yeah. Now, she said to the dean, based on this level of based on this level of block, because I got a block from university, high level block, because I've never paid $1. So I went through not paying any money. So I'm black. I can't see any course. I can't get any material. I have to borrow and ask for material.
Yes.
When I listened carefully, the associate dean she said to him she can't open the system because the student is blocked by the university. So him being the dean now has authority to open it.
Yes.
And he opened it and he whispered to her 1.4.
Your GPA was 1.4?
1.4. Remember, this is a man who don't know what he wants because he's all over the place. This man just come university from 1.4. And when I heard, I was so shocked. I got the envelope, MP, and I stopped the application for the bursary because I stopped the application. I had to take the letter that was sealed, that was given to me. Mm-hmm. I had to take it and open it myself to see the GPA. The first semester was 1.4. And I was saying, then this don't make no sense because if I carry this go ministry, then I'm going to say I don't deserve a scholarship. I don't deserve a bursary. So I put it down and I say, all right, I need a different way. But remember now it's the second semester, and I'm blocked. I can't go in the system. I'm blocked from university. And my grade is low. I still can't find the lectures. I'm missing exams. And I have the finals and everything coming up soon. Mm-hmm. So at that time, MP, a good Samaritan in the name of Noel Butcher Scott, mm-hmm, who was from my region 4.
Yes.
I met him on MP Dennis Daly, and I said to them, boy, I'm gonna drop out of school, I tried. Mm-hmm. And at the time, the MP said, I'm gonna help you. And I remember when I got the help from the MP, it wasn't my MP, and that's why I told people that, even though I joined the PMP from a young stage, mm-hmm, that was one of the most memorable moments when he wasn't my MP. I'm from Southwest St. Catherine.
Butcher Scott.
Yeah, he's from Southwest Clarendon.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
He sorted it out, and I got the money, and I paid the fees. And I don't know if you know the new university policy. If your GPA falls below 2 for 2 consecutive semesters, you have to back out. You have to leave.
Yes.
So second semester MP, I turned things around, and my GPA was over the 2 mark. And they say, all right, you can go to second year now. So first year, even though I failed the first semester, I passed what I needed to pass to get to second year.
Yeah.
So I was in second year now, and I remember going back to Butcher Scott, and he said to me, you know, we're going to put it on to the Prime Minister to see if we can get some help. And at the time, I got to the Prime Minister now. That was Portia Simpson Miller.
The most honorable Portia Lucretia Simpson Miller. Yes.
And I said to her that I want to do medicine and everything. And she said that, you know, you can continue degree, man, and then after you finish, you go over. And she paid everything, MP, to the point where one JLP, she paid everything after that. Everything after that, MP. So I didn't have to, I could sit down and prepare for school properly now. I'm fully in, and I know what I want. I know that I want to finish my bachelor's in chemistry, and then hopefully one day try again for medicine, because I was rejected first.
Yes.
And MP, I did so well in terms of grades start coming back up in the high part, where to the point that was 2016, you know, that was 2016, and I was a lecturer. I'd ask a lecturer at the time, because I still wanted some money for myself. Now I was getting the scholarship, you know. And one JLP staff in the office said to me at the time, why is it that you can't pay your own school fee? Why is it that is government, is SDC have to pay your school fee? And I said to him, we can't do no better. Yeah, I mean, me and my friend now, but I guess he was just joking. Because at the time, it was, every time when you look at my tuition thing, is SDC. And at the time, I remember when the party leader and prime minister at the time lost in 2016 MP. As a matter of fact, 2016 was a high year for me, 2016-17, right? That was when I started to turn around in terms of chemistry, and I was recruited and become a member of the American Chemistry Society.
What?
Yes, so I was a part of the American Chemistry Society. That was
so your GPA at this time now, where was that?
Well, it was over the 2 point, it was about 2.8 at the time. Right. But remember, I had done so poorly in the past that it was still being pulled down. But even when I'm getting the A's now, it was pulled down. Right. And you know, MP, as I say, I skip out a lot of stuff, but I was always rejected at all points, most times when I tried everything in life. You know, I remember, MP, I got a job at the university.
When you were a student?
Yeah, I got a job. But before I got that job, MP, I was embarrassed. Yes, a university lecturer. As a matter of fact, I applied to the administration of the university that I want a job. And they said, for you to get a job, let me share this. Oh, most people don't know where you're coming from. So when they reject you, they don't know that you could have been halfway. You could have given up. Right. And this lecturer, when I asked him to work with him, he said to me, well, he didn't tell me, but he told the person that wanted to pay. So the school was paying for me to do research at the time, to do the research. And he said to them that, look, this student is not a top student. I can't do research with him. Not even, and the person asked him not even to wash up the stuff after you finish working. And he said, no, not even that. And I reached out to another lecturer because the person said I was not good enough to even wash up after they finish working. So remember, I know that job was supposed to be mine, and they took the job and they gave somebody else. He said that he's going to give somebody else. Yeah, somebody else who is in mind. Remember, this job wasn't available to anybody, but it was me. Anyways, I got the job now from a different lecturer, a lecturer who became like a mother to me. She encouraged me, even when I was, not at the top of the class. She encouraged me to continue and to do well. And so when I started with her, I worked with her. So at this time, I was an undergraduate student in my final year, but I was writing papers, working with her, writing papers. We're working. If you look on Google now, you type in my name and so forth, you'll see some of these papers. I was working hard.
Oh.
And she gave me the opportunity. So remember, I know I'd apply to wash the equipments after the lecturer finished, the other lecturer.
Yes.
But this lecturer now gave me full control over writing the paper. So she wanted me to write now, and she said, come on and read these papers, learn how to write and everything. And then she recruited me to be a part of the American Chemistry Society.
Right.
I remember when I went to embassy, and I always tell people this joke, when I went to the embassy, the American Chemistry Society, I had written a paper and I was supposed to go and present it to Mexico, in Mexico. Remember, this is the same guy coming from the class in 2007 in high school. Right. And I went to embassy, and at the time I was so scared, going through the building and everything, and I was going to get the visa.
Which embassy is this?
US embassy, to go to Mexico, because I want to go to Mexico.
Right.
And you know that when I went there, this guy was there and he said to me, he gave me, like he was about to give me a paper and said to me, he shake his head and he's saying like, I was rejected. And I said to him, 1 second, I have a letter. And he said to me, a letter? I said, yes, I got this letter just in case from my school. And the letter was from the American Chemistry Society that I was a member of.
Yes.
And the guy took it and read it. And he's like, he was in shock. And he left and he came back and said to me, I should pick up the passport with the visa in 2 weeks.
So you had to get a US visa because you were going to travel
Mexico.
Go to Mexico.
Yeah, so that's how I actually got my 10-year visa at the time.
Wicked. Because So Dane, I want to know, oops, my battery is low, but it's all right. I'm going to plug in my computer. We're creating history tonight. This is my longest live ever. And the good thing is that people don't start get bored yet. They love the story. So let me take out my charger so I can plug it in. Talk to me a little bit now about getting your first degree. What degree was it?
It was a degree in chemistry. So this is a weird combination.
BSc degree, BSc.
A BSc
right.
in chemistry and social psychology.
And did you get honors?
No, I didn't get honors. I didn't get honors.
Okay, so that was your first degree.
Yeah, so because remember that we started from...
During this period, you were working, earning something. And so you graduated with a degree. What happened after that?
Well, I graduated at the time, MP, with a degree. And I still went back to medicine. And they said to me that, if I was supposed to get in, I would have to pay the full 3.5 million. And I was saying to them, that's very difficult. So I'm not even going to bother with that. So they say, you can try a master's now in chemistry and then come back to us after. So I went to do a master's degree, MP. I went to do a master's degree now.
Did you complete it?
No, that was when I started medicine. So I went to do the master's degree. Right. And things were so tough. Let me show you how tough things were, MP. I have never taken a graduation picture in the UWI gown. It's one of the most hurtful moments for me. I don't notice if most people don't know that I went to UWI because I don't have a picture of myself at UWI. I didn't have any money to pay for graduation. At the time. No money because I was still tough because I had to wait a year before I could finish the degree because Portia had lost and everything had, went down.
Right.
And when I was trying to graduate, get the money to graduate, no money, no pictures. I really, hopefully one day I can go back when I finish everything and get a picture in the UWI gown. Because I still would like a picture of myself in the UWI gown. I've never taken part. As a matter of fact, I was working. I started my first job in chemistry, working while I watch everybody taking part in graduation.
So
Yeah,
you're doing masters now. You
no,
say
I'm doing the masters now. Yes, and then I heard about an opportunity to start medicine, but at the time, MP,
$3.5 million.
yeah, but this
Couldn't-
time I heard about an opportunity to go overseas to start medicine, and then I was like, this is new, but I'm gonna give it a try.
Yes.
And I tell the MP, when I started when I started preparing, I was saying, what I'm going to do? What am I going to do? This is madness because I'm going overseas and I don't have any money and I don't have any sponsor. I don't have any money, I don't have any sponsor, but I started to do little investing, saving, coaching, school child. So at the time, let me tell you, I started taking up everything I could do. If you did have yard for sweep, MP would have sweep it.
Yeah.
We put the money together for studying medicine.
Yeah.
So let me show you. I was a teaching assistant at UWI. I was a research assistant at UWI. I was a teacher at Old Harbour High School. That's 3 jobs we count already, right?
Yes.
I was a coach at Old Harbour High School.
Christine.
The quiz team. So that's 4 jobs now, right?
Yes.
And then I was a teacher for the evening school. 5 jobs that now, right? So
yes.
I had 5 jobs at the time juggling. And then I was teaching at Innswood High School. I was working at Innswood High School. Yes, at the same time. So that's 6 jobs that. And then after that, no, I was, where else what I was? I started another job supplying. I started people started asking me the question, how did I move Old Harbour High School to the semifinals, coming 3rd, and a student getting a scholarship? So I said to them, I can share my expertise. And I was being paid by other top schools now to supply them with information about how they could do well. So that was about 7 different job activities I was doing. And by the time I finished all of that, I remember I was in the master's, and I applied about March. I applied March to go to medical school. And medical school need to pay before August because school new semester is August.
Right.
And MP, at the time it was to me it was a challenge. And I remember as a young person, I think I had about $1 million at the time.
$1 million?
Yeah, I saved $1 million. Huh?
From all of these jobs, you were able to save $1 million?
Yes, all of them I was able to save $1 million. And then now I started medical school now, MP. And I was saying to myself,
at the Guyana campus.
At the Guyana campus, and I took that plane, MP, and went. As a matter of fact, I never came back to Old Harbour. When I moved my stuff off campus, I was moving to Guyana. I just took up my stuff, and a lecturer at the time helped me to reach the airport. I reached the airport and I was so scared. I got to Guyana now, and when I got to Guyana, I realized this is it. I paid the fees. So out of that $1 million, I paid $500,000 for fees. But that was September 2019. And when I paid the fees and started September 2019, MP, I only had $500,000 left. And this is the first semester, first year. And then I paid the next $500,000 now so I could clear off school fee. And when I paid that money, I didn't have anything left. I had to be calling to Jamaica now. And that's when I remember I said to you, MP, if I could get some assistance. And I remember, and I have to thank you, MP, every month. And Danishka was the one, because I couldn't get to you, and she was the one who collected the money from you. And that money that you sent every month through Danishka to me was able to kind of help me. And I was using that to buy cornflakes and some other little stuff that could hold me. So it was a tough time. Let me tell you, people used to see my status and said to me on my WhatsApp status and said to me, how is it that this man is drinking cornflakes with a fork. With a fork. And they laughed, but they never knew why MP. You know why I was drinking with a fork?
Tell me.
At the time, the cornflakes was more than the milk. So in order for it to serve me 2 times, I had to put the cornflakes in the milk and just eat the cornflakes and leave the milk. So I had 1 plate of milk used to serve for 2 servings of cornflakes. And that's how I was trying to manage. That's how I was trying to manage everything, MP. Very tough. I remember several times they tell us that they're going to put us off the campus because we don't have any money. You know, we don't have any money and things got tough. But by the January, February, I was supposed to do exams now, the final exams, right?
Yes.
And NCB sent me a message and said to me that, they recognized that I was working at UWI and I was getting X amount of salary. So they're going to give me a loan. They're going to give me a loan. Yes. And when I saw it, MP, I said, good. But it was only 300,000 loan. So I took the loan the first day. You see, by the next couple of days, I see another request come in, say I have another loan that I'm qualified for. And I said, another loan. And I called the system. I took the loan. But the next week after, I was looking for another loan to come and say, all right, we're going to get 900,000 now. I paid that money to the university. And I was trying to get another loan. So you know what I did, MP? I called NCB and I said to them, I recognize that you guys gave me 2 loans. Can I get another loan? Because I don't see a third one coming. And they said 2 loan. The fast cash is only 1 loan per person. And they said to me, what's your name? What's your account? They were asking me information. I said to them, I think my query was resolved and I will leave now. Because I shouldn't have the 2 loans in the first place. I don't know how I got it. And I took these 2 loans, not knowing how I would pay it back, MP. Oh, I would pay it back. I don't know. Anyways, I paid school and I did exam, did well, passed everything, A's. Because remember, medicine is what I really wanted. So from the get-go, I'm fully on top now, getting all my stuff, passing everything. By the second semester, MP, it was March. The semester is supposed to start March 10th. Right. And I came to Jamaica in February 11th. And I said to myself, how am I going to get the school fee? Plus I have 2 loans now of 30,000 every month. Yes. You know what I did? I don't think you know what I did, MP, but let me tell you what I did. I went to...
It is legal.
Yes, it is legal. And I went to the MP and I got a book. I still have the book from memory. I got a purple hardcover book. And I wrote down 100 names in my contact.
Yes.
Said I'm going to ask each of these persons for 50 US. And this should be enough to cover the $500,000 I have to cover.
Yes.
MP, I was successful. You were one of my donors too. Yes. But I think you were one of the donors who gave more than 50 US. At the time, I think it was more than 50 US. Some person gave more. And that's why I paid my school fee. So MP, when I see young people saying that they can't do this or they can't do it, I'm saying there's always a way. All I did was take a book, write down all the names in my phone and people I know, business people in Old Harbour at UWI. Because remember, I was working at UWI. So now I have co-workers basically, not just farmer students. And everybody came together and give 5,000 or 10,000 and everything. And I stopped at the airport. And not just that. At the time, because I was teaching at UWI, remember I telling the MP, I was trying everything. I used the credit card. NCB gave me 2 credit cards. So when I was going through airport, and at the time, MP, I didn't have enough money. I was short a few US. And I saw the sign in the airport at Norman Manley that says you can purchase currency using your card. So I was running the joke and said to the lady, even credit card? And she said, yes. I said, what? And I ran the credit card, took off all the, as in paid all the money now from the credit card and bought the US. And that was enough to pay my school fee. So even not going on the plane, I didn't give up. Back on the plane, some people said, boy, I better not go back. Some of my friends didn't come back at the time. And I went back. On March 10th, that was March 10th, MP. And you know what was happening March 11th now, right? 2020, right?
Oh, COVID.
Yes. So watch, this is where things kind of got more interesting now. When I got to Guyana, they say you're going online. So I started teaching back online now and going to school online. So you know what I did, MP? As soon as the Prime Minister opened the country, I came back to UWI to work and back to Old Harbour to work.
And did your course online?
And did my course online. So now I could pay my loan and pay my school fee. And I did that because I was working now. And I managed every semester. I was worried because I'm like working full-time at UWI and I'm also doing medicine full-time. And I have to feed myself now and survive. Very difficult because no scholarship. People saying apply for scholarship in Jamaica, but you know that the government's policy are based on their policy. Certain scholarship like SDC doesn't go abroad like that. It doesn't work abroad like that. It's a little bit more challenging to go over there.
But recently you got a scholarship.
Yes, I soon get there, MP. So I went up the ladder now and I'm in med school and I'm passing my course and I'm working and I'm getting some money. And I never gave up, MP, even when persons around they were giving up and saying they can't go any further. It was very painful to see that because there was a lot of us who went. Some of them, they couldn't make it any further. But I decided I'm not coming back home without that medical degree in the MP. I'm not coming back home without that medical degree because this is my last chance. So now I'm in third year. And you know, every year, every 3 months, MP, I have to pay about $500,000 Jamaican dollar. And sometimes I cry because I say, even our typical parent working at 9 to 5 in Jamaica can't find $500,000 to pay med school. And I find it every 3 months. And the thing I love about my school, they will give me time. If I say to them, give me an extra month, they'll give me and I'll give them. So in last year now, November, really got really bad. All the people I used to ask, you know, they kind of turn away because they said, boy, it's a lot, it's too much. And so I didn't have any money at that time. And then came the NCB Grant a Wish promotion. Most people would have seen the Grant a Wish promotion and the campaign. At the time when I came, the campaign was going. And I won the scholarship for $300,000. And I was able to pay off the recent school fee. And now I'm going into my 4th year, MP, in medical school. So I only have 2 more.
4 or 5, yes.
4 out of 5. So I'm going to start 4th year September. But now, thankfully to the system, the school I'm now in that class, they call it transition. In that class, you don't have to pay the full school fee because you're not in any class, you're not doing any course. You're just training now to do the basic things in the hospital. Yes. Draw blood, so you don't have any big school fee, $1 million again or anything like that. You're paying only $1,000 US. So I have $1,000 US now to pay them. 1,300. So this is what gave me the break now. Plus I'm now finishing up. I'm now working again at UWI. So they call face-to-face. They send us back home. And then I'm working at UWI. So I put everything together, MP, and I was able to pay off the fees the other day. And I shared with you, MP, that, you know, it was very difficult for me in terms of because you saw, based on my story, you can see that there were many instances where I could have stopped or given up and say, look, what if I can't go any further, which was what I was always thinking. But MP, I never gave up. I told MP in grade 4, remember I told I was a slow learner. And I was young, so I didn't know. And one of the most hurtful moments for me, MP, I've never really said it publicly, but it was when I was at UWI. I was preparing to go to the PMPYO meeting because I was vice president for the university. University, PMPYO at the time. And I was supposed to go to a meeting. So I was cleaning my ears, MP, brushing my ear. But I was moving so fast, I had the ear tip in my ears.
Yeah.
So I
Hand hit it.
yeah, my hand hit it. And it burst my eardrum and I started panic. But I was living at the university campus. So you know what I did? I ran to the hospital and tell them, look, I'm dying, man, my ears and so forth, so forth. And they said, come on, man. We see the blood and everything, but we're going to register you. They said they're going to register me. I tell the MP, this was probably the most hurtful moment. You know what they said? They said to me, they asked me, MP, they asked me, have you ever been at the university hospital before? And I said to the guy, no, I've never been here before. And they said to me, all right, no problem, we're going to register you. So they're trying to register me in the system, and the system not allowing them because I'm already registered. So I said, this doesn't make any sense.
Yes.
This doesn't make any sense because I've never been here. I just started here university 3 years ago.
Yes.
Or 2 years ago. Why would I be here? And the person said to me that you came here in 2005, 2004. I said to them, I don't know about it. 2004, I was in grade 4. I'm a baby. I don't know anything about that.
Mm.
And they said to me, the guy whispered something to me and said to me if I don't remember anything about any child abuse or child issue. And I said, no, I don't know about that. And I said to the guy, this is strange. And he said to me, all right, he won't give me any more information. So I said to him, I want the information. But I remember I was in pain now with my ears. So I said, all right, after I saw this, how can I get the information? He said to me, go to the records unit. And I remember I keep going to the records unit. They used to give me a little run around to see what the file or what was happening. Why did I have to come there? You know, I don't really know the story, but I think my mom had said to me, you know, I shouldn't really think about it. But I think that was a period in my life when I was going through child abuse. You know, it was very difficult for me because
you have to be rushed to the hospital for treatment.
Yeah. And
that's why you're in the system.
Yeah. And counseling, because I started acting out. Yeah. And that is why I told most person that I wanted to work at UWI. My dream hospital is to work at UWI Hospital because, I want to show people that I could have been a patient there. I was a patient there, and now I'm a doctor here.
So tell me something now. How long you have to complete
medical degree?
Yes.
2 years. I have 2 more years left.
2 years, and at the end of that, because you're now going through clinicals and your, what you call it, in service training.
Rotation, yes, and this sort of stuff. But I'm going to start in September, yes. But it was recently, but remember I told the MP, it was recently I looked into everything and I said to myself, you know that I am not going to settle for just completing this degree and come back to Jamaica. I'm going to try to get an international license, which is the USMLE, the United States Medical License Exam. I'm going to try that exam and then come back to Jamaica. I'm going to try and specialize in the USA and come back to Jamaica. Because if you look at my story, you realize that every step I make, I see something that somewhere I can achieve more, and I try to do it. I try not to limit myself to just doing the regular stuff, because when I look at where I'm coming from and I look at people, it was today I saw somebody who I used to, be in the streets with, in terms of today I was in the town and I saw somebody who I was in the streets with, I'm a gangster. To him, he said to me, boy, I'm a look at thing. And I said to him, say, all right, cool, no problem. Because as I said, that guy was calling, I'm going to check him, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm a look at thing. And he said, boy, they didn't know his streets go already, because, when I try some stuff in the streets and the police and what way and so on and so. And I said to him, and then I said to me, say, we're born in the badmanship and we can't left it until we're dead. And I said to him, say, no, man, you can leave. Me see people do it, you can leave out of the violence and you can leave out of those negative stuff. And I was encouraging him. I mean, he's well, as I said, he just believe that there's no other way.
So
People just believe
Dane,
that they can't.
Dane, this is where I want to take this remaining part of the conversation, because your story is so compelling. We could sit here all night because
Yes,
you have delivered it in a way that people can identify with. And I tell you, having watched you and see how hard you work, I thought that today, apart from telling your story, it could inspire some young people,
yeah,
because I
yeah.
have
That's,
so
that's,
many, I have so many of them Dane, in my constituency, that even though we haven't been able to get them off the street corner, we haven't been able to get them to stop digging out their hand middle and to recognize the value of the Heart Training Agency or the facilities we have established in the constituency. And many of them are into this gang warfare. And I believe that you can inspire them out of this waywardness. And your story can do just that.
definitely. I've started to do that, MP. I have a lot of people who have been recruiting from who think that, you know, that is the way out. I know a young
Yeah.
man now, as I told you, yesterday I was speaking with him and I was saying to him, I'm happy the day you followed me in terms of coming out of the violence, because he's now a businessman and so forth. And I said to him, we have to stay that way, and we have to keep clean, keep doing good, so people can be inspired. Because I was saying to myself that I'm embarrassed about my past, you know, and that was why I don't share the story so much. I still feel a little, you know, especially about the fact that I used to sell bag juice in the market. I used to hide from my. I used to, yes, I was saying that even when you were doing this thing, and I was saying, boy, I don't even know what to say, because I feel embarrassed about some of this stuff. But somebody said to me that this will inspire, this will encourage, it will save somebody from going down the wrong path. Because MP, the violence, it doesn't work. Trust me, it doesn't work. And the reason why I am not a violent person now, nothing gets me upset. You realize, because I'm always smiling. No matter what disappointment, nothing gets me upset. No matter what. Because when I was in the violence, let me share with you, I used to see where one cousin or one friend, they're friends, you know, but when the other friend have an issue, we beat up this friend. So I said to myself, one day going to be my time when all them going to turn upon me. So this can't be the right road.
Violence begets violence. Yes. So soon to be Dr. Dane Warren. Soon to be the proud son. What's your mother's name, Dane?
Audrey.
Soon to be the proud doctor of Dr. Audrey's son. Dr. Audrey's son.
Yeah.
A mother who has struggled, who has been loyal and faithful to her child, and who has been through with you. And you mentioned people who have helped you along the way, and you want to certainly recognize them. Yeah. So we have to have you back, because we want to.
Yes.
We're going to have to pause now, unfortunately, and this we have created history, because it's the longest Connection Boss live show ever. And this is going to be available for people to watch it over and over again. And then when we come back now with Dr. Dane Warren, we'll be able to cast our minds on some of the things that you've mentioned here, and then to look forward, because I believe that you recognize that you never stop growing, you never stop learning, you never stop achieving things. And one of the challenges that I have for you, and you've started your political journey, I want to encourage more young people to get into politics, to get into the real development of your country. Yes, you can be the best doctor and you'll be able to take care of all the patients, but we need leaders now to take over from older folks like myself. And not enough young people are showing that desire, that interest. So I'm hoping, we've lost you a minute, on the screen. But
No, I'm here. I'm here.
I'm hoping that one day you'll come back, Dane, to be a part
Yes,
of the leadership. And if you could just say a last word on that before we have to take the break. How do you feel about that challenge?
About what did you say in the last part?
When you come back and to become involved in politics, get involved in leading this country forward. What is your view on that?
Definitely, MP, definitely, because let me share with you, and before we finish, I cannot leave without bigging up certain people, MP.
Yes, please.
Aureus Daly, former deputy chairman of the PMP. Yeah. Remember, let me share with you why these people are significant. Aureus Daly.
Just give me the names quickly.
Philip Palwell, okay. Linval Bloomfield.
Dr. Bloomfield.
Dr. Linval Bloomfield.
Yes. But bless his soul. You mentioned R. Scott already.
R. Scott, Dennis Daly.
Yes, and of course, Sister P.
Portia Simpson Miller. MP, with the combination of those MPs and Comrade Julian Robinson. Remember, I know these MPs don't have anything to do with Southwest St. Catherine, but these MPs have always made sure that this young man from Southwest, from a JLP constituency, they push, whether it is by calling him, how are you doing? Sometimes I'm abroad, you know, and MP Dennis Dale will say, how are you doing? I haven't heard from you in a long while. It's just encouraging, because it tells me that these people are waiting for me to come back to one day become an MP, to one day build up the PMP, to make it stronger. And so, MP, I really want to thank them. And that's why even when I hear you telling people to become a part of the PMP, they don't understand. The experienced MP, my first speech that I was able to give is from practicing in the PMPYO. I used to go to KES, and I said to him, what should I say at this event? What should I say here? How should I do this? It's through the PMP. The first lawyer I met is in the PMP. The first real, in terms of doctor and everybody, is in the PMP. The PMP became like a family. They provided an environment for me to learn. They provided all of that. I met so many persons that I can tell you, when I was in school chances my final year in the MP, I couldn't get any MP wrong, you know, because I know every MP at the time. We had about 42 or 48 MPs. I knew all of them personally. So they could have split up any picture. Whether I be Comrade Lisa Anna, Comrade Peter Phillips, I knew all of them. Because when I came into the PMP, I was welcome. And when I say welcome, I mean loved. People used to, you know what they call me at UWI? They used to call me, my all name was Comrade. Because...
All right, okay. Comrade Dane Warren, soon to be Comrade Dr. Dane Warren. What a glorious experience we have had. What a high level of sharing we have experienced today. What an inspiring story. We want to thank you very much, Dane, for sharing with us, for being open with us. And I think you are an inspirator, and the story is quite inspirational. And I want to wish you well. You are 2 years away from the dream, and that dream has gone through many transformations. You wanted to become a packer at a supermarket. You wanted to pack out stuff. You wanted to become a soldier.
Yes.
And then eventually now you want to become a doctor, and you are going to get there by the help of God, by the grace of God, and all the help that you are getting. Thank you very, very much for being on the program today, for creating history today. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I see many comments, and I know that over the next few days, people are going to be watching this live and to comment on it. And we're going to be in touch with Dane, because he's reached too far to turn back now. That's not in his DNA. Comrade Dane, thanks again. Good weekend, everybody. Thanks again for being in touch. The Connection Boss, after 1 hour and 49 minutes, record, saying over and out. See you next week. Bye, Dane.
All right, MP, blessings.
Blessings. So this has been handled remotely So we're going to ask the systems controller to